Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday Night Live with Bill Tucci.
Behold his mighty hand.
Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang.
Just want to manage expectations.
Weird.
This is the worst. The cowbell! The cowbell!
I need more cowbell.
You need more cowbell, Billy.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's going on, my man? So I think it's time to retire the Thursday Night Live intro. What do you think?
Well,
Think it's time to retire it, maybe?
Yeah.
No?
We got some big news coming next week, and for starting in next month. Huge news, everybody. Huge news. How you doing, Scala? What have you been up to, brother?
I'm doing great, brother. Not too much, just working, getting some stuff. Our top secret plan is underway.
Yes.
We're working on that, so that's pretty exciting. And just happy to hang out with a couple cool couple coffins are cracking open, like cool, 3 coffins, right?
Crack open some coffins, baby. Some cool cats.
Cool tonight.
I'm having some fun drawing Silver Age dinosaurs.
Oh, that's cool. Look at that. Then you disappeared. You're too quick.
Bad girl blowouts.
Oh, beautiful. Look at that.
Having fun. I don't want to give away too much. We've got a great show tonight, man. I am so excited about tonight's show because we've got, someone who I always refer to as the kid brother. I'm the kid brother he never wanted. And he's helped us so much. He's been such a great friend for over 30 wonderful years.
Mm-hmm.
And he's brought along 2 other incredible talents with him tonight. And we're going to talk about their new endeavor, Coffinverse. Talk about the incredible success of the very first Coffinverse launch. Their own crowdfunding platform.
Coffin Launch.
Coffin Launch. No more Kickstarter, no more Indiegogo, none of that. It's all in-house, which I guess obviously works. It really puts the publisher or the creator more in touch with the fans.
More goes back to the creative team, which is how it should be, and more goes to the fans, right? And the more control you have over it, the more you can produce. And it's a great system that Brian has put together with him and his team. And this is kind of like that icing on the cake to the next level, maybe for future tiers down the road. But they've definitely built a very smooth system here with Coffin Launch that it's brilliant. It's the way of the future, Billy.
Way of the future. So let's hop into the future right now. And without further ado, everyone, I'd like to introduce to you. It is our great privilege to introduce Mr. Brian PULIDO, Mr. Mike McLean on Scotsman, and of course the great Joel Gomez. What's up, boys?
What's up?
What's up,
What's
guys?
up, team?
Hey, guys. When did this come out?
More cowbell.
More cowbell, baby. I think we introduced that at our festival in 2019.
2019.
Along with a foam finger, right?
PULIDO, man.
More cowbell, baby. You never can have enough.
More coffin, more cowbell, more Mike, more Joel, more Brian. How's it going, fellas?
Fantastic.
Great. Awesome.
Let's talk about first of all, thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having us,
guys. The amount of work you guys put out, the amount of product you put out. How many crowdfunded? Let's stick with crowdfunding pretty much. How many crowdfunded graphic novels has Coffin Comics done since? Is it 2015? Did you start? When did you start?
Yeah. So since 2015, Coffin has put out 46 graphic novels, at least 46 pages, many up to 64.
Wow.
That's insane.
And they're all actually maybe 47. So all of them are shipped except the ones that are about to ship as promised. That is Hell Witch, Lady Death, Helligeddon, and the Deadly Trio, our project, which is both are at the printer, and I've proofed them personally, and they'll be shipping as we have announced. So Deadly Trio in April, perhaps it might be earlier, and then Hell Witch, Lady Death in May or sooner.
Nice. Okay, so let's talk that this is your 10 years you guys have been doing crowdfunding.
That's right.
Is this Coffin's 10th anniversary, or was Coffin out before that, a few years before that? Like, tell us, for those who might not be familiar, been living under a rock, about it.
Coffin Comics was founded in September of 2007. Very modestly, I was invited as a guest at DragonCon. And the man who ran the artist alley, Tom Thaler, said, "Hey, would you make an exclusive for the event?" And I said, "Well, what do you mean by exclusive?" "Well, you know, something maybe with a dragon theme." So I actually had I had a book called Dragon Wars around, and I'm wondering, well, okay, it's 2007. If I go to an offset printer, I'm gonna have to print thousands of books. But I discovered that there was the advent of the new digital printing age, where I could print as low as one copy of something. So I put together 3 editions, brought them to DragonCon, and they sold out instantaneously. But I needed a name. And so I did what I did before. I literally went through a dictionary and I hit that word coffin, and I'm like, that's it. So between 2007 and 2014, I was a bit of a journeyman. I was going to comic book conventions. I would roll off an exclusive cover on previously published editions, sell them, and just making my way. But I did see what was going on in crowdfunding, and thanks to our mutual friend, Jimmy Palmiotti, who gave me a lot of advice, I jumped headlong into the fray, so to speak. And then in February 2015, we launched our first Kickstarter, Lady Death Chaos Rules, and we've never turned back ever since. And both these gentlemen, fine gentlemen, Mike and Joel, have been with Coffin ever since the new age of new material.
Nice.
That is wonderful. And then again, you've done 46 crowdfunded projects, or graphic novels, just 46 graphic novels, new graphic novels, working with these gentlemen right here, a big part of the Coffin family.
Yes.
And by the way, I think, and I say this, I think that I loved the old company, your old endeavor, but Coffin Comics, the logo with the way your whole person, it really suits you. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. It feels like the first company was like training, and you had to learn stuff, for me at least, and learn a lot of stuff and then apply it. And Coffin does really feel like the right expression for me.
It's funny because I'm still here and I'm still it's training for me, because my company's is Crusade Fine Arts. That's what it's called. That's the official name. I've just been using Crusade Comics.
Yeah.
And someone has the website, and I'm like, how much for it? And I'm like, I don't know. Would you take $500? I don't know how much. He's like, what's it worth to you? He's some retailer.
Yeah, one of those guys
selling some of the old books and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know how much are these things worth. The house $500. And he never. If I insulted him, I don't know what he was thinking. He just ignored me. I'm like, oh well, the hell with it.
Well, you probably have a good case for a case, because there's a thing called ICANN dispute, and people who have the normal federal trademark, people who jump onto those trademarks are called cyber squatters. So you might actually have a case.
Oh, yeah, because all through Diamond, and even Diamond now that we're back with Diamond, we are still. It's Crusade Comics.
Yeah, there you go. Another fun story, another fun story might be how both Mike and I met, and how Joel and I met, told from their perspective.
Yeah, let's hear that. So, Mike, if you want to jump in, or Joel, whichever one of you guys want to go, I'd love to hear how you guys became a part of the Coffin family.
I'll let Mike start on this one.
Well, Brian was appearing at Phoenix Comic-Con as a producer of a short film created by Garth Ennis. And I knew that he was also a producer of film. and I was kind of looking in for another edge, another waypoint into the film industry. I worked for Roger Corman at the time, but Roger Corman was also quite up there even when I was working with him early on. So I was looking for another leeway into film, but I also knew all about Brian and creating comic books. And as a lifetime comic book fan, I thought maybe I could, I don't know, someday down the road work in comics as well, which would be a dream come true. So I stalked Brian at the con, and I ended up giving Francisca my card, and we just met for coffee and hit it off. And it's kind of the rest is history. We worked on some film scripts together first, and then Brian gave me a shot turning one of those scripts into a comic book script, and everything seemed to work out and gel. So it was one of the best decisions I've made in my life. I will tell you that, because it's been a dream working in the comic book industry with Brian. And I know a lot of people don't have as good a road as I have, and I'm very gracious and appreciative of that. So it's been awesome.
It doesn't hurt to work with the best company in comics too.
Yeah, I hit it out right out of the bat.
Yeah, you sure did. Yeah, you sure. Joel, how did you come about?
I met Brian at a Phoenix comic convention. I'm not sure the name of it, but it was at the stadium that they had, that fancy aluminum looking building.
It was in a stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I met Brian. I had met him prior to that, just briefly, but we spoke briefly. He had mentioned an opportunity, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Brian Pulido," and I was like, "I know who you are, man," you know. And at the time, I had just come out of. I used to work at Wildstorm as a staff artist, and DC had kind of dissolved that whole studio and stuff, and I'd been a couple of years out of having the regular gig there, and it was just the movie thing with Marvel and all that stuff had just started taking off, so. An artist like myself could do a lot of shows and kind of sustain or have a side income that was pretty sustainable. And I was okay with it, but I was just kind of, I was losing the feel for that. It wasn't as exciting. And I met Brian Pulido, and he had this idea for a book. And it was the weirdest thing, because I had been wrapping up a licensing gig. One of the last things I ever did for DC, I was just wrapping it up, and he had mentioned this awesome project, and he told me I needed it by this time frame, and I said, I'm actually busy up until this point, but I'll be done after that. And he was like, you know what, this thing has to go, like we're on a tight schedule, I'm trying to get this thing done. And I was like, wow, okay. And I was thinking, this guy, he's serious, like he's all business, like he's about his books, you know. And I regretted not finding a way to get that thing done, because I think a couple of weeks passed, and I was just like, man, did I just F this up? Like, this is a cool opportunity that I missed out on. And he emailed me right back a couple of weeks later and said, like, hey, you know what, something didn't work out. Like, might you still be interested in this amazing thing or this thing? And I was like, yeah, this project was amazing. He had like this really cool pitch book for this character called La Muerta that he had co-created with Mike. And everything about it just spoke to me, just the vibe of the book, the look of the lookbook, which is silly because it's just the way they presented the material to me. But it was like they had all the ingredients for this amazing meal. All I had to do was cook it over the stovetop, you know. And I was like, I was just blown away at the presentation, and I don't know, the manner in which Brian carried himself. He's a serious guy, and he's really good about like giving you the right information you need. And it just made it really easy to want to jump in and go all in with somebody like that, you know. So I met him at this Phoenix show.
That's great. And
Can
so
we just
Brian,
talk about? He's got a great atmosphere in his stream, his video.
Camera, you got everything is great about
I know.
you.
It's like
You know what? I'm using my wife's studio space. She uses this environment. This is her desk area, and she does a lot of live streams on Twitch. And if you were to see where I work, it's like a corner of the room with the dark area with one light over the desk. So it's not at all presentable. You know, there's like stains on the wall and stuff. So
No, you got that nice cinematic look to your camera.
she's got the fancy camera, man. She's got like the Sony, the setup, the whole thing. She looks great. And I just, please let me borrow your studio setup. So
Awesome.
I love it. I love it too. I love it. I see. Look, if I wrote here, like, love your camera, if you could see here. I wrote that down.
well, check this out. She's even got it set up where I could do this, right? Like I could do like
Oh,
desk
wow.
setup.
ooh.
Right.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's how I met Brian. And really quickly, I just got to say, it was awesome. I've had the opportunity to work with some amazing people. I used to work at Top Cow with Mark Silvestri as a background artist, with Mike Turner at Aspen as a background artist. And I even worked with Jim Lee at Wildstorm. And like each phase of these journeys have been fantastic, but it hasn't really amounted to the approach Brian has, which is that those other places were kind of in a studio environment and kind of set in this system. Whereas, I don't know, Brian and yourself, even Billy, you forged your own kind of thing. And as an artist like myself, trying to just develop my own projects or whatever, it's amazing to see how you guys have endured and continued with your creations and your projects for as long as you have, because it's like the environment is constantly changing, and yet you guys, both of you, managed to like put out some amazing content and learn new ways of doing it. That's really inspiring. That's pretty cool, man.
Thanks.
Thank you for that. Yeah. Well, let's talk Coffin Launch.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. And then we're going to lead up to La Muerta,
Excellent.
Nemesis #1.
Yes.
But here, this is, was it, I think Marcus put the link in the link to go on to Coffinverse to sign up is in the description. But Marcus, if you could throw them out, or Herrenberg, if you guys can pop the link in there for them.
Thank you.
Talk to us about this, bro.
So here's the Coffin Launch value proposition. First, we will launch campaigns in a very user-friendly format. Secondly, you're going to get more bang for your buck. Any savings that we've had on previous crowdfunding campaigns, we're simply passing on to our backers. Third, over time, we expect to fulfill our projects up to 3 to 4 weeks sooner. It's going to take a little while. It's going to take about 6 months to get there, but that's one of our commitments. Also, if you have ever ordered from Coffin Comic Shop, you can expect the same level of customer service. You can reach us for customer service inquiries in a multitude of places on Coffin Launch, including every single solitary claim. We don't call them rewards, we call them claims. And then, very simply, satisfaction is guaranteed on Coffin Launch. So, Coffin Launch, at the onset, I'd like to acknowledge several people who spearheaded Coffin Launch. In many ways, I'm the figurehead at Coffin Comics and, prime mover, pusher, but Francisca Pulido was the real power behind Launch, and she was aided and abetted by our in-house IT gentleman, Jordan Kale. I want to thank in the beginning, all of the behind-the-scenes folks who went through the several rounds of testing. And I also want to give a special shout out to a friend who is Mike Madigan, who is the man who actually coined the term Coffin Launch. We really didn't have a great name for it, but Madigan gave us the name Launch. And as soon as he did, everything really came into focus for us. So that's Coffin Launch. I think our goal here was to make a simpler, easier to manage campaign for people, something much simpler to navigate.
Yeah.
And we have just completed our first ever self-crowdfunded campaign with Lady Death Savage Rain. And I am happy to announce here and now that we well exceeded our financial goals, but we also exceeded our backer goals. We have 2,557 backers on our first campaign. So we feel blessed. Thank you so much. We took nothing for granted, but we feel embraced, and the feedback from the great majority of our backers is that the system is working. We are a company that listens, and as we were inside our campaign, launching our campaign, making adjustments as needed and as necessary, we keep listening to people's feedback. And of course, like anything, we're looking to always improve. So that's a little background on what Coffin Launch is about. This year, for 2025, we have 8 campaigns, and we are launching our second campaign, La Muerta Nemesis, next Thursday at 6 p.m. Arizona time, which is the same as Pacific time. And that is La Muerta Nemesis. written by Mike McLean and illustrated by Joel Gomez. So I'd encourage everybody right now to sign up, because you'll notice all physical backers for the first 24 hours will receive a beautiful challenge coin, custom illustrated by Joel Gomez. Joel designed this custom, and let me tell you, when people see the finishes, we've not done a coin like this before. The finishes, although right now what you're seeing is like a silver finish, it's actually a pure white finish, and this thing pops. So we hope to hold it in our hand within the next couple of weeks so we could show people exactly what it looks like. But that's a little background on Launch and the particular launch, but certainly Mike McLean and Joel can speak with much more authority on the actual story itself.
Yeah, so yeah, can we do that, Mike? Can we talk? For those out there that may not be familiar with La Muerta, can you give us an insight on the character? Joel, I'd like to hear your artistic point of view after Mike gets through, and let's hear it. It's such a visually striking character. That sugar skull is, I can't believe that someone didn't do this 30 years ago.
Right.
It was right there for the taking, and it's perfect. So please, Mike, if you don't mind.
Sure. La Muerta is Maria Diaz. She's a Army veteran who fought in Afghanistan and came home. Unfortunately, when she came home, her brother got involved with a death-worshipping drug cartel, and that resulted in her family's death. And in order to seek retribution, she donned the guise of La Muerta, and she's backed by kind of a spirit guide, Santa Muerte, who is kind of the patron saint of the kind of the disavowed and the outcasts in Santa Muerte. And that is just basically the background. She is a neo-noir, supernatural thriller character, kind of like if you took the Punisher and the Crow and put them together. And she fights, street level criminals, but there's usually a supernatural bent to all of her stories. In this particular story, she stumbles upon a ritual murder where a child is left grieving for her slaughtered mother, and La Muerta vows to seek vengeance for her because it's the only thing she can do for the child. So she tracks the murderer down to New Orleans, and where she has to kind of delve into this dark mystery in order to find the killer. And in doing so, she comes in contact with one of Coffin's other characters, Madame Midnight. So that's about, I don't want to spoil too much, but that's
let's not spoil too much. But let's, hey, Brian, Nile, can we play the video first before we?
Yeah.
Let's play the video, then we'll go through the campaign, and then something special is also happening in this book.
That's true. Yeah, we should let Joel get a little into his artistic inspiration.
Oh, no sound.
There's no sound? Oh.
Oh, there should be.
Yeah, no, it's on our end.
There's no sound. What's going on?
You probably have this memorized, right, Brian?
Just about. I'm trying to figure it out.
That's true.
Oh, they changed things here, huh?
Yeah, they changed things. See, now you got to share it.
I got to do something different here. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's try this now. Okay.
Yeah. Hi, this is Brian PULIDO, creator of La Muerta, and I'm presenting the all-new 48-page original graphic novel entitled La Muerta, Nemesis. When an innocent child witnesses her mother's brutal killing, Maria Diaz can promise only one thing: vengeance. But this is no simple murder. Maria must become the street vigilante La Muerta once again and track the killer to New Orleans. There, she is plunged into a shadowy world of secrets and sacrificial bloodshed, which lead her on a collision course with Madame Midnight, Hoodoo Princess of New Orleans. Without Santa Muerte to guide her, can La Muerta uncover the dark truth? Or will she fall prey to the vicious, unkillable Baron X? Bonus story. For the first time ever,
La Muerta battles the one and only She, a tale of blazing bullets and martial arts madness. Please back our campaign now and tell everyone you know. Thank you so much.
Nice. Nice. Joel.
Yes, sir.
You have such an organic and wonderfully organic style of art.
Thank you, man.
Can you give us a little background on your art, your inspiration, and how you approached Maria and created this whole visual of her and her whole world?
Yeah, so I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I mean, I got my start with some of the older image guys coming from Top Cow and Aspen. So there was a line quality or particular art style that I was into that was derived from those places. And then coming to Coffin and working with Mike and Brian on La Muerta, which was really one of the longest books I've ever worked on in my career. But as I mentioned earlier, these guys, they kind of had this amazing lookbook that really set the tone for the feel of this world that fit right into what I was into, which was very noir looking, dark art. At the time, I was really into Eduardo Rizzo, Jorge Safino, Mark Silvestri, guys who really play with the light and shadows of shots. And as they had that lookbook, it really had that vibe about it. And so ever since book one of this book, I mean, I've been developing that kind of a style. And I'll share with you some of the pages. But here's at page one from the book. As you can see, it's got that crime noir vibe that, Mike and Brian really kind of had in the initial start of this whole thing. And I've carried that over into my own style. But having worked on over, I guess this will be my 10th chapter of La Muerta, each chapter 48 pages.
Wow.
It's really given me an opportunity to develop like a rapport with the character and the way I chose to handle her. And it's an ever growing process, I guess. There's always things that I feel like I'm learning with each issue.
Great page. Holy shit.
Thank you so much, man.
That's cool.
And it's crazy because, like, honestly, Brian, he really is. He creates a great rabbit in the sense that he's got a great eye for talent, and he's always got amazing artists working at Coffin, whether they're doing covers or working in interiors. So I'm always looking at those guys and being like, damn. It feels like I'm always trying to keep up with some of those guys. And you can see here, this is for the backup story. I went all pencils on this.
Dude.
Beautiful sheet, dude.
Wow.
And so it's just those aesthetics that I came from, Silvestri, Jim, Mike Turner, and just infused with what the qualities that we do at Coffin, and it's kind of made it my own. That's more or less the style that I use, but it's interesting because, as I've mentioned before, it's an ever evolving process. I'm always trying to add more to each chapter. I took one chapter off, chapter 10, to work on Lady Gunfighter. And even though I was still working on another amazing project with Brian and Mike, I was missing not being on La Muerta. I felt like I was on the outside looking in about that book. And it was just the nature of things. Hey, give me the opportunity. Do you want to do this or that? And I was like, I don't know. I'm already on Gunfighter and I love what this is. I had been on La Muerta for 9 chapters. So to throw me into the Old West all of a sudden after 8 years, I was like, yeah, sure. That's awesome. Let's keep the Old West going for a minute. But after hearing about La Muerta 10 coming out and seeing some of the pages, I was like, oh, damn. And they look great. And again, like I said, Brian's got a great eye for talent. Like, it really made me miss it. And I was like, you know what, for this next chapter, I need to go all out because I need to make it feel like I'm excited to be back because I can't wait to get back into this book with these guys. And it's been a wild ride. And when I heard it, like somewhere in the middle of the book, that there was an opportunity for this crossover event, and they said, Billy Tucci, I was like, wow, this is amazing. You got to remember this. I'm coming from this old school mentality of seeing all these amazing indie creators. I remember Billy Tucci when his She book where he had like Frank Frazetta painting She, you know what I mean? and it's just amazing stuff to be able to work with these iconic characters. This new one being, La Muerta and She, that the one I remember from all these times of all these amazing talents having, done their interpretation of the character. So I was excited. Hell yeah, I was excited for this kind of character meetup or crossover. Yeah, I was really excited to have that happen at the last minute. I didn't know it was happening till it was just about near time to start drawing it. So it was really cool. I'm excited.
What's your art background?
You mean as far? I started out as a background artist.
No, but
So-
like, did you go to art school? Did you just like?
Yeah, I'm an art school flunky. I was in art school and I did poor grades. I was like on a partial scholarship and I just effed it up. I was at the art center in Pasadena and I just assumed it was all going to come trickling down, or I don't know. I didn't take advantage of it. And so then a couple years of, being a waiter in real life made me realize like, oh, damn, I might have messed up. And at the last minute, I pursued comics heavily and I took it very serious. And I just used the knowledge I had gained, and I got my start as a background artist, and then just kept taking the steps further along. And oddly enough, when I was at Wildstorm, and I realized at Wildstorm that I was working amongst some amazing talents with some guys who were really phenomenal at what they did. But it's when I realized I lacked the motivation or the hunger to draw the type of characters they were drawing, which I mean, in the sense that I didn't feel very excited or compelled to be guy number 500 and whatever to draw this said character.
Right.
And I thought, like, what could I possibly bring to this thing that hasn't already been done? And that was another thing that was so appealing about being at Coffin, is that you immediately literally feel the pros and cons of the choices you made artistically, creatively, story-wise, whatever. And the fans will let you know directly. And I felt so much more alive or a part of this thing that, we sink or swim together. And there's something amazing about that. And as a creator and as a storyteller, to have that feeling where you directly understand and know what happens from the direction you choose, and it's awesome. It's an awesome thing. And I had my tip of the hat to you guys for doing it as long as you have so well. And it's inspiring to guys like me, so I love it.
Well, now it's like you're part of the family. I don't know if you can get out. Right?
Once you're in the Coffin cult, that's it.
Yeah, it's
and I
true.
read this is a great looking campaign. And the thing with she's crossing over with La Muerta in this thing is that this campaign launches in 1 week, 7 days from now.
Yes.
On the 20th of March at
Yes.
6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yes.
But the scary thing is that I approved the final colors today.
You did.
And you hadn't even launched it yet. That's how, for the 204 people watching, that's how amazing this company is, that they are always so far ahead of the game. They're always, they're already on the goal line for the next book.
Yeah. By what we take as a measure, Billy, is when we launch, generally speaking, we want to be ready to go to print. There's been a couple of times where that hasn't been the case, but really for the majority, about 95%, and La Muerta is no exception. Joel is complete. Where I think we're done or just about done on the dialogue. I think we just have to complete the dialogue on the She story, which will be like that, and we will be ready to go to print by next Thursday. And we won't go to print. That's just our trigger time, and then we'll go through the campaign and collect the numbers.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying, like you guys are already you're already on the goal line. You just need the backers to push you guys into the end zone.
It's absolutely true. I mean, in fact, to give you we do need the backers. I mean, Coffin Comics lives and dies by our backers. We know who the boss is. We always have. We've never been under the illusion that it's about us. We know it's about our backers, our customers, the people who are loyal to Coffin. I think everyone who works at Coffin completely gets that. Like we're no like highfalutin, lost in our ego kind of company. We know who the boss is, and the boss is the people who pay the bills for us, and that is our backers and our fiendom and our sworn nation.
Incredible. So, Brian, if you don't mind, since I'm always talking, she has invaded the Coffin universe.
Without a doubt, that's true. Holy mackerel.
So she is now a part of the Coffin Comics universe.
And Lady Death is part of the Crusade universe.
That's right, officially. So
so what happened there was we just loaned each other's characters. We agreed upon the pages. We agreed on the pros and cons. We've read each other's stories. We are approving each other's pages. It really is that's simple. It wasn't particularly complicated.
Yeah. Well, it's an honor. And again, to do that cover was a lot of fun.
Boy, that cover's amazing, dude.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really nice.
it's so nice.
Dude, I have it right here. It's a beauty. Oh, man.
Oh,
Look at
man.
that.
I like it. It can do this.
Yeah, you can do that. You can look
Oh,
at
yeah.
it any way you want.
It's like the yin and yang.
Yeah.
Beautiful, just beautiful. Again, like I said, it's truly an honor. You know, I told you that we would get you guys in and out, not to keep you way too late. We appreciate you guys coming in.
Wow, thank you for the
on this.
opportunity.
Let's go through the campaign, and maybe we can go through some of the tiers
Let's do it.
of the campaign, and let's see what you got, who your artists are, that you're contributing artists, and all the different types of special editions, very limited, and
Let's rip through it. But before we do, I just want to point something out that that Coffin Comics takes great pride on. Take a look at Joel. Take a look at Mike in our creative relationship. We have worked together for over 10 years. That doesn't happen in comic books anymore.
no.
Comic books are like people do 90 pages and they're out to the next thing. Big companies can't hold talent, but through our mutual respect and dedication to each other, we have collaborated maybe longer than Jack Kirby was at Marvel already. So we do take that as a badge of honor that these tremendous talents would want to continue to work with us. And it's great because it's this wonderful creative journey we get to go on together. And I'm really grateful for that. But I do want to point out, because that is very rare in comics these days.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, man. You guys make it easy. Mike and Brian, I think our tastes align, but it's like I've mentioned this in prior things before, but it's like we're a band together, and everybody knows their part, and we just kind of play our instruments and jam out together because
It's true.
we know when to dip in and out.
That is it. We're a band. That's it. All right, so let's get into some of these. We're going to rip through these cool claims. First up, we don't call them rewards, we call them claims. So if you got $6, we'll sell you a La Muerta digital copy. But if you're ambitious, get the premier edition. Why? For $26, we're going to give you also a 48-page square-bound graphic novel, a digital download, all free unlock, free swag. We don't call them stretch goals, free swag, including if you get on board in the first 24 hours, physical backers get a free challenge coin and free U.S. shipping and handling. Wrap your mind around that. Coffin Comics ships things white glove. How much does that cost? Probably shipping and handling is $8 or $9. So just back that into there. Before you know it, you're probably paying $6 for that premiere edition. All right, I'm not going to belabor the point. Moving onward, Joel Gomez gets his own edition. Back it. Notice in the back there is our main villain, Baron X. Moving on, for $26, you can get the one exclusive cover edition by Billy Tucci and Ezekiel Dominguez. This is a gorgeous image. Let's move on. Get that one. Treat yourself. Get them all. Next up, check out Lucio Perillo Ultra Edition for $40. Beautiful painted cover. Next up, right next to Carla Cohen. Gorgeous painted cover. $40. Next is the official Jewel Edition by Mike Crone. Next up,
What's a Jewel Edition, Brian? For those, what's a Jewel Edition?
Thanks for asking. So a Jewel Edition is going to be enhanced with actual crystals, sometimes Swarovski crystals, and it's the type of thing that we've been doing for our entire history. So they're actually enhanced, glued on with archival quality glue right onto the edition. CGC will not grade those, but they are really cool. Next up, the Ultra Foil Edition by Elias Chatzoutis. Let me see if I could get over here real quick and show you an actual real live mock of the foil itself.
Ooh,
Look at that.
Cool.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is the actual
that's sick.
skeletal
It's like
armor.
It's
Boom,
a
boom, boom.
spot foil.
That's right. It is a spot foil of her costume. It's a beauty.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Thank you. Next up is I believe will be the Holofoil Edition by,
That's a beautiful cover.
that's a beauty, and that's by Jay Anacleto. Let me see if I can get that one too. Check out Jay. Jay is a favorite of mine, Jay Anacleto, and this beautiful holo. I love it.
Wow.
Man, those covers.
They're savage, man. All right, next up. Now we're actually doing a thing called the Loco Box. So that's sort of like a mystery envelope. And in it is going to be for $99, $250 of value. And that would actually include some truly remarkable additions. And I'm going to show them to you. It could be, for example, beautiful, super limited Joel Gomez editions.
Wait, are those hand? No, those.
So they were actually, these were originally the first ever offered mystery envelope. Joel did do the originals on these. Wow. And then we created them as very low editions, 30 or under. This is a Joel Gomez original. This is in the Loco Box. Real live original. This is an homage to a Brian Bolin Wonder Woman cover.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And this is another Gomez original tipped into the Loco Box. Gorgeous. I can't believe we're letting this thing go. I look at it and I cry. Let's just keep it. There's other goodies. Beautiful medals by Jesse Wichman, Richard Ortiz, Sora Sung, and others. So that is the Loco Box. $250 of value for $99, sometimes more. Next up is the gorgeous embossed metal edition, and I could show that to you as well. I got it all right here, folks, so don't get it twisted. Check this out. So not only is it metal,
oh, that's cool,
but this one actually has relief. Wow. It's actually embossed.
That's cool.
And this is by Jamie Tyndall.
It looks like it's almost etched in.
It is. Yeah. It is literally embossed and etched. What happens is the metal actually goes through a pass where it is embossed and has relief. So that's the official metal edition for $100 by Jamie Tyndall. And then next up we have now we're starting to do things like the battle damage set, and these are color variants where we're portraying Maria battle damage. We actually do not do naughty with that particular character in the hopes one day that she'll become a motion picture. Mm-hmm. And those are limited to 75. Then we have the Lucio Perillo Ultra 5-book set in the Carla Cone. That includes raw, trade dress, virgin art, holofoil in metal. And then for the discerning collector, we have right in front of me is the Joel Gomez original art editions. And this is a sample of what you could receive. Joel has agreed to do 11 completely original editions on a blank. The back cover even has all the details, the Joel Gomez sketch edition. We're offering those on the campaign. Joel has generously agreed to do that. So that is an opportunity to receive Joel Gomez original art. And next up, we have the RIP set. And that is one of those gigantic bundles that include the Carla Cone, the Lucio Perillo, and the 7-book set. And, man, do I have them nearby? And 2 gorgeous metal editions. This is for the discerning collector. Hat. Here they are. Holy mackerel. A black metal edition and a scarlet metal edition. Gorgeous. Wow. Mike Chrome, Jamie Tyndall. So those are the comic book editions on this particular campaign. Let's rip through some of the prints and the merchandise. So we have exclusive prints by Lucio Perillo, Carla Cone, Billy Tucci, the People's Champion and the Teen Sensation. Nice. The premiere edition by Diego Bernard, gorgeous image which is serial numbered. And then the Joel Gomez commemorative edition, which is also serial numbered. We love imagery. So we have a 24 by 36 Carla Cone poster. And then we have some print sets, 5 print set with a prestige theme and 5 prints with a battle damage set. And then not to be outdone, we actually have a gorgeous 18 by 24 cliche print by Lucio Perillo that's printed on archival quality paper and archival quality inks. And it is insane.
I think you should say not to be outdone with this campaign, but not to be outgunned.
Not to be outgunned. Thank you. Awesome. You could definitely Billy wakes up and thinks marketing. I love it.
Yeah, he does.
I get it. I love it. I appreciate it. So cards. We all love cards. So we have a prestige metallic card set and a battle damage metallic card set for $50 for 5 cards. Let's get into merch. Now, we are doing the La Muerta battle jacket. This is offered again. You can get a look at, here's a mock-up of the jacket itself. This one has, for the front, we have 6 different patches, including artwork by Richard Ortiz, Nathan Zerdy, Monty Moore, and Don McTay. And then we have the back as well.
That's badass.
This is the back patch, exclusive by Joel Gomez. The rocker at top saying La Vida Loca, Crazy Life. And then down in the bottom patch, La Muerta for life, baby. Now that is an offered again. And I encourage people to back the patch set, because if we do announce an event, something like Swornfest 2026, and we have not, this would be a good thing to have. So when you show up, you're representing. You know what I'm saying?
True that. Same thing for cons.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Represent, man.
Nice.
So that is ripping through the campaign. And do not forget, for the first 24 hours, we are offering a free challenge coin designed by Joel Gomez to all physical backers. It all happens next Thursday, March 20th at 6 p.m. Pacific time, also Arizona time. We never change time, but we're on Pacific time now. That's
Yeah.
what's up, everybody.
Brian, I got to tell you what I love about this, and I love Kickstarter. I love Indiegogo, but you have streamlined it. The page looks so much cleaner than what we have to do through Kickstarter or Indiegogo. You know, there's always so much. It's very clean. It's very
Thank you.
simple to use. It's very user friendly, Nile. I'd say, wouldn't you say?
It is, yeah. Yeah. It's
that's-
clean.
Thanks. That's one of our goals. And again, I acknowledge the leadership from Francisca Pulido and Jordan Kale taking lead on that. Jordan not only being an IT professional, but really acutely in tune with like design. So, you know, big up to those guys.
Well, what I love about, and again, you guys have, in my opinion, and I'm sure everyone else is, the best customer service in the comic industry.
We thank you.
What I love about this too, now that through Coffin Launch, that you guys have total control over this campaign.
We do. I think customer service is challenging on other crowdfunding platforms. Let me give you an example. Let's say I had a campaign from a year ago and it's been fulfilled, but I'm a customer and I have an issue. I can put a customer service note anywhere in the comments or a previous link. And as the project creator, I would never know it. Now we have customer service links on every single page and literally on every single product, because we want to stay connected. We want to make sure the customer gets heard and what they need is addressed. I do find that very challenging on other platforms, and that was a particular issue for me.
We got a super chat here. Let's bring it up from Dr. Mosk, Retro
Dr.
Elixir, $4.99. Thank you, sir. Hail to all the amazing creators here. Signed up. This looks like it will be lots of fun. Good luck with the launch.
Thank you so much. You are awesome.
Thank you. And yeah, and I will be I will be harnessing and galvanizing all the Tucci troopers all across the fruited plain and the good earth to help, you know, to support this campaign. One of the rarest she books ever.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see another she out there. And again, it's an honor. Get my cover. It's exclusive to this campaign. You can't get it anywhere else.
Get it.
And but so we'll be out in full force. I'll be promoting the heck out of it all next week for sure.
Thank you.
And thank you. Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah.
Who colored that again, Brian?
I believe that's Ezekiel Dominguez.
Golly.
Yeah.
Just the Sugar Skull, everything. They just captured it completely.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah. Now, Brian, someone had said, will Billy do a she-book on Coffin Launch? I know how busy you are. Are you considering, if this thing grows, to take on other creators? Or if Billy or Jeff Smith or somebody wants to come in, Mike McLean's got a new thing, TV man or something,
TV man.
TV man. The TV man. I got it.
TV man from hell.
I got it on YouTube here. At the monitor right there. So,
as of right now, Coffin Launch is designed for the exclusive use of Coffin Comics. It really has been a bit of a capacity tester, so I can barely imagine what it would be like to support other creators, and I say that with complete respect. What I would say to my fellow creators is this: if we can do it, you can do it. I do believe the next phase of crowdfunding is democratizing it and putting the power in the creators' hands. So established creators who've walked the walk should definitely take the next step and energize and harness their own powers and ability to crowdfund on their own.
Absolutely.
And
Mike,
could make TV Man
TV
work.
man.
I'm sure.
What's up, Matt? Mike, what is next for the Coffin verse? What is coming? What will we be seeing next from you and Brian and from Joel and from Lady Death crew? From what are we going to see in 2025, fella?
Wow.
Wow. Well, we have everything from Lady Death to Lady Gunfighter to Lady Satanis, and she's coming to 1980s Sunset Strip.
Nice.
That's really a lot of fun. That one's gonna be great. We just have so many projects, all the characters that have been developing.
You know what? You know what's a fun one to talk about, and it's relevant to this creative crew, is the follow-up to Lady Gunfighter. This is chapter 2 called Condemnation. Maybe the guys can talk a little bit about that one. That one's coming out in June.
Oh,
yeah. The second part of the 2-part story that Joel was just raring to do.
I'm never gonna live that one down.
Yeah. And previously, when we were promoting the first issue, Joel was like, "But that next one is really great," as if that one was better.
You know what? I was knee deep into the second chapter because these two amazing guys, they had signed me up for both parts of the book, so it made it a 96-page book. And when we were campaigning, soliciting the first part of it, I was knee deep into the second one, and I only was speaking from the idea of drawing some of these things is weird because you want to familiarize yourself with these characters, and I didn't really know the character that well or the environment that well in the first chapter, and I loved it. I worked really hard. I busted my ass on it and made it as nice as I could. But only in that second chapter did I start to really get a feel for what Mike and Brian were going for with it, or I felt more familiar. It's like working with somebody new at a job, and you're barely getting to know who your partner is. And with that, I felt I was getting more expression, more attitude, more dynamic shots, and also it just went in line with what was happening in the story. All these big things that Brian and Mike had set up in the first chapter were starting to pay off in the second chapter in huge ways. And it's like, I couldn't help but just say like, oh man, but this second chapter, and I didn't think about it. And so here we are.
Well, in many ways, you're absolutely right. I mean, the second chapter is the promise of the premise. You know, the first chapter sets things up and people were delighted by it, but the second chapter is utterly bananas.
Yeah.
You guys did an amazing job. And
Joel, you hit it out of the park. Really. His
it's a great one.
Oh, thanks. You know, it's all to you guys. I mean, again, we all riff off the same things. We've worked together for so long that I've kind of learned what Brian and Mike are saying with how they write a script, or they know how to wield what I can do and not do. They know how many panels to fill me up with on a page. And it's worked great. And I'm always very aware of what we're trying to get across on the page. But it was just funny. Like I said, the first chapter, there was a lot of setup, a lot of introductions, a lot of new things. And by the time we were soliciting that first chapter, I was already getting all these amazing things happening that Brian and Mike had painstakingly set up in the second chapter. And I was like, this is amazing. So I'm glad we get to talk about it.
So to set it up for everybody, Lady Gunfighter is a supernatural Western. And it is about a woman named Eliza Ryan who was raised and was a sharpshooter, but she really left that life behind. In the present, we meet her and she actually possesses demonic pistols whose demonic bullets never miss no matter where she shoots. And we set it in a post-Civil War environment where we made it very dangerous, very treacherous, very apocalyptic, if you will. I mean, this is post-Civil War where the country itself was torn asunder and left in ruin. And out in the Great West, it's a lawless land. So that's the setting for Gunfighter and her particular story and her particular quest.
Yeah. I'd say visually, it has a vibe that I enjoyed, which there was a video game that was a Western called Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yes.
I pulled a lot of my inspiration from that and things. There was a show that I wasn't inspired by, but it very much has a gritty kind of a textured feel called American Primeval. That it's a dangerous West. It's not a romanticized notion of the things we've seen in movies as kids. And that kind of lines up with the kind of ideas I imagined when I was drawing some of this stuff. And Brian and Mike really kind of portrayed this dangerous place throughout the U.S. at that time, where everywhere you look, that you're not sure whether someone's smiling at you because they like you or they want to kill you. And it's something that transpires and gives the character Eliza a little bit more meaning in the choices that she makes. And so she's kind of a badass, and she kind of holds her own. She doesn't have any superpowers or anything like that, but she's very keen with her gun. And
She's a sharpshooter.
She's got a great personality. I like it a lot. And I find that guys enjoy seeing this badass heroine, but it also, I think, can make, a girl or a woman reading the book really be inspired by the character as well, because it's something you'd look at and go like, I want to be a badass like that too. And I enjoy that aspect of what Brian and Mike have created.
Very cool. I'm looking
Sounds
forward to that.
fantastic. Well, you guys, Brian, you will be launching 9 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time?
No, it'll be 6 p.m. daylight time.
6 p.m., which is 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
Exactly, yes.
I will be going live next week for Thursday Night Live with Billy
Excellent.
Tucci to talk up La Muerta Nemesis #1 featuring She, because Sworn Nation came out big time for us. Now we need the Tucci troopers to mobilize and come out for Coffin Comics.
Please do. That'd be awesome. Thank you.
And we will do our utmost, and we'll get everybody together. And again, these are just 2 amazing projects. It was it's a privilege. I'm drawing Lady Death now to draw your character. I can show you. Grab a page right here. These are just the pencils and all, but I got to send them to you. So there she is.
Wow.
Nice. Awesome.
That's awesome.
I don't know if it's off a little bit. I'll send you all those, Brian, for approval.
Yeah. Okay.
But we need you guys to come out for these guys. These guys are part of the best company in comics. They're a family. A lot of us, like myself, like Graham Nolan, like Ethan, like Shane, like Fraga. It's like us and our wives helping us. And of course, Brian Hazak, because Francisca is the one that actually is the heart and the soul behind Coffin Launch. But they've got such an amazing team. That, like I said, they're a family. And it's Brian's always telling me to draw boobs bigger.
Bigger boobs.
Oh my God, I draw you like first world problems, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, we're all going to come out there for you guys. You guys consistently do amongst the most exciting, most visually striking, and thought-provoking comics being put out there today or at any time. And it's an honor to be a part, in some small part, of the Coffin family.
Well, we cannot thank you enough to Nile, to yourself. It looks like Billy's challenging us.
It's one of my I'm challenging y'all. So let's see. Got any coins, boys?
Of course.
I didn't grab my coin.
How about Joel?
Is it 4 paces away?
Right over here. I'm going to grab it right now. Here, I'll show you right now.
Joel.
Over here by my. I got a bunch of the coins. So.
Nice.
I keep
Good job.
finding this fancy sleeve because it's one of the original porcelain, or not porcelain, pewter looking ones.
Yeah.
Oh, you keep in the
Yeah, that's the OG.
I got that one. Yep.
Yeah,
That's
this
the
one's
OG.
really nice. That's really nice. Yeah.
And you're about to have your own, man. Boom.
Dude, that's amazing.
This thing's gonna
honestly,
pop.
Really quickly, how crazy, Brian, man, you're so smooth, dude. You have to say all these crazy things like hollow foil and limited edition and all these people's names, and they just roll off the tongue, dude. That's awesome. I don't know how you do that. That's amazing.
I don't either, but I know that I know when I started doing these pre-records in 2015, I knew somebody had to do it. So I just sort of said, you got to do it, kiddo. There ain't nobody else helping you out. You got to do it.
That's amazing. It's like hollow foil and tinted and then limited and this and that and hoo-ha. And I'm like, wow, he doesn't even blink an eye. He's like grabbing stuff off the side and still talking. And I'm like, wow.
And then you see a year later, everyone's using what you guys do a year after you guys do it. They start, look at this new foil type of thing. You're like, yeah, I did that. And Brian did that in 2019.
As long as people are chasing our tail, we're doing something right.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. You can go to. There's also a link via Coffin Comics to Coffin Launch too, right?
Yes, of course. Right. Yeah, coffinlaunch.com. You could jump on board right now and get signed up for La Muerta, and when we launch next Thursday, and get your free coin if you're a physical backer.
That's right.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys, Nile. I know I talked a lot. Got anything to say? Any parting shots, Scala?
No, this is exciting. I love La Muerta. I'm excited. Man, Lady Gunslinger. I'm in like a Western kick right now. I don't know what it's about. I've said
you're gonna love
Gunfighter before, Billy.
You got to check it out. It's
Gunfighter, Lady Gunfighter.
Lady Gunfighter. My apologies. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. I don't mean to be rude. I actually have to go close up Coffin Comics. It's closing time. I got to make sure all the doors are locked.
Thank you, guys, and we'll see you all next week, next Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, the launch of La Muerta.
Nemesis. We would appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night, everybody. Guys.
Peace, man. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey everyone! Thank you for joining us on Pop XP. If you haven't already, subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the Pop XP and over on Instagram at the Pop XP. Thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you soon.